My dear, I waited for you in every lifetime, but this one broke something eternal in me. I didn't walk away. I vanished the moment you stopped looking for my soul. You didn't lose me today. You lost me the moment silence felt safer than your love. I begged the stars for you, but now I pray they never bring you back. Some goodbyes don't echo. They shatter in places you'll never see. Your absence was never loud. It was surgical. I didn't leave with anger. I dissolved in disappointment. I gave you access to my storm, and you sold me rain. I loved you more than I loved surviving. I warned you I was sacred, not safe. You didn't lose me. You released me. You touched me like a prayer, then treated me like a rumor. I was always too real for your comfort zone. Loving you cost me pieces of myself I still can't name. I didn't close the door. I just stopped waiting in it. You didn't notice me fading, only the silence when I was gone. I left without screaming because I had already bled in silence. I don't hate you. I mourned you. I disappeared where your love failed to show up. You had my soul, but I needed my peace more. You can't reach me where I healed. I'm not bitter. I'm holy now. I stopped begging when I realized I was the miracle. I didn't outgrow you. I outloved you. You didn't lose me in a moment. You lost me in the slow starvation of neglect. I don't miss you. I miss who I thought you were. You buried me in doubt. I resurrected in truth. Your silence was the loudest betrayal. I stopped replying when I realized you only talk to feed your ego. You chased the world while I waited like a prayer. You thought I was replaceable. God thought I was rare. I was a poem. You wanted a caption. You mistook loyalty for weakness. I chose loneliness over being unseen. You had me and still made me feel like a stranger. I didn't leave. I evolved out of your reach. I gave you my heartbeat. You gave me headaches. You craved me only in my absence. You mourned me too late. I became someone else's peace. You mistook my softness for surrender. You couldn't handle the depth you swore you were ready for. You touched my wounds with dirty hands. You had a garden, and you envied weeds. I kept showing up. You kept shutting down. You wanted my fire, but feared the burn. I didn't ghost you. I ascended. You lost me when you chose pride over presence. I was a sanctuary. You brought chaos. I gave you forever. You gave me maybe. You tried to replace what was divinely assigned. I was ready. You were rehearsing. You couldn't lose me until you deserved me. You gambled with someone who only bet on you. You didn't water me. You watched me wilt. You gave breadcrumbs. I deserved galaxies. You kept me close enough to claim, far enough to hurt. I wanted depth. You stayed shallow. You flirted with my soul like it was temporary. You chose ego. I craved intimacy. You broke something no apology can reach. You wore me like a costume, not a crown. You couldn't love me and lie to me at once. You left me starving, then called me too hungry. I craved being seen. You preferred looking. I gave you shelter. You gave me storms. You disappeared when I needed a witness. I begged you for presence. You offered performance. You dismissed me gently, but the pain screamed. I didn't need saving. I needed sincerity. You named me love, then treated me like a lesson. You mistook my devotion for dependence. You ignored the soul in me. I trusted the mask you wore. You weren't a loss. You were a reveal. I watched you vanish into someone I no longer recognized. You taught me to leave early next time. You wanted me silent until my absence screamed. You didn't see me until I stopped needing to be seen. You left while I was still building altars for us. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You said forever like it had a return policy. I gave grace. You gave excuses. You wanted comfort, not commitment. You saw me drowning and afforded distractions. You watched me shatter and asked for less noise. You lit the match, then blamed the fire. You loved me like I was optional. You turned my sanctuary into survival. You held my hand while letting me fall. You missed my magic because you feared your own. You kissed my soul but committed to my shadow. You liked my chaos more than my calm. You ignored the hurt you planted. I gave you heaven. You chose habit. I stopped bleeding where you kept cutting. I became sacred in the ruins you left. You awakened the part of me that no longer forgives. You confused attention with affection. You needed someone obedient. I was divine. You lost me because I found myself. I loved you until I remembered I had to love myself first. You held my hand while I was drowning in your indifference. I left when I realized I was the only one fighting for us. Your silence was a scream I could never ignore. I stopped searching for you the moment I found myself. You chose absence. Now I choose peace. You never saw me, only the version you wanted. You were never a loss. You were a lesson. I wasn't afraid to lose you. I was afraid you wouldn't miss me. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I started loving me. You didn't break my heart. You shattered my trust. Your love was a mirage that faded when I stepped forward. I didn't need saving. I needed someone who could hold my truth. You never saw me, just the reflection of your needs. I left behind what wasn't mine to carry. You let go of me when I was your only anchor. You didn't lose me. You lost the best version of yourself. I stopped hoping when I realized hope wasn't a two-way street. I was never yours to lose. I left when I realized I was just another lesson for you. You only wanted the parts of me you could control. I've walked away from your absence. Now I walk towards my freedom. I gave you everything, and you still wanted more of something you couldn't give back. I don't need your apologies. I need my soul back. You made me a memory when I was supposed to be your future. I wasn't afraid of you leaving. I was afraid I would stay. You took my heart, but left me with my peace. Your love was conditional. My soul wasn't. I didn't disappear. I just outgrew the version of you that didn't see me. I didn't leave. I just stopped staying where I wasn't wanted. I left the moment you stopped holding space for me. You wanted my silence. I found my voice in it. You stopped fighting for us when I was still your reason. I stopped chasing shadows that didn't reflect my light. You wanted all of me, but gave none of yourself. You held me captive with love, then set me free with betrayal. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I loved myself more. I stopped waiting for a love that never came. You didn't lose me. You just never really had me. I tried to heal with you, but your wounds were deeper than mine. You never saw the real me. I stopped letting you see the parts I lost. I stopped asking for more when I realized I wasn't enough for myself. I gave you my heart, and you gave me reasons to leave it behind. You saw me as an option when I was always meant to be your choice. I left when your love stopped looking like love. You turned my love into a battleground. I stopped trying to prove my worth when you stopped valuing it. I didn't leave. I just stopped letting you break me. You couldn't love the real me, and that was your loss. I wasn't afraid of losing you. I was afraid of losing myself in you. You wanted me whole, but treated me like I was already broken. I realized your love wasn't a place to call home. I became whole when I stopped needing your approval. I gave you my all, and you gave me crumbs. I stopped holding onto promises that were never yours to make. You said you loved me, but your actions whispered a different truth. I didn't leave because you failed me. I left because I failed myself by staying. You never saw me as your equal, just your safety net. I was a healing force, and you only wanted the scars. I don't miss you. I miss the version of me you erased. I stopped fighting for a love that never fought for me. You left me alone while I was loving you the hardest. I didn't abandon you. I abandoned the version of you that wasn't real. Your love was a mirage I stopped chasing. I don't hate you. I just love myself more now. You didn't lose me. You lost the person who would have loved you without conditions. I let go of you when I realized you were holding me back from my own destiny. You tried to chain me when I was meant to fly. I didn't walk away. I freed myself from a love that never truly existed. I stopped caring when I realized I deserved better than your lies. You tried to trap me with promises that were never meant to come true. I didn't leave. I just stopped waiting for something that wasn't mine to keep. I loved you until I realized you loved the idea of me, not the truth of me. You never lost me. You just lost the trust I gave you. I didn't leave you. I left the pain you created in me. I stopped fighting for a love that didn't see me. You thought I would always stay, but I knew my worth when I walked away. I gave you pieces of my soul, and you threw them away. You lost me when I found my worth in silence. You were never a loss. I was your wake-up call. I gave you everything, and still you took me for granted. You didn't lose me. You lost the chance to love me. I stopped loving you when I started loving myself more. You never saw me, and I finally stopped showing up for someone who couldn't.